Second phase of the White House peace plan. Hamas is still in the midst of returning the remains of all hostages killed since the October 7th attack 2 years ago. However, Israel says DNA testing shows one of the bodies returned this week was not that of a hostage. 20 surviving Israeli hostages are now back with their families.
He talks about how during captivity, he saw how the people of Israel fought for him. He saw pictures of strangers he didn't know, holding his photo, and it moved him and gave him the strength to survive in captivity.
Hamas says it returned all the remains it can recover and that it needs special equipment to find those of any other hostages in the rubble of Gaza. Israel is threatening to exert full force unless all the hostages' remains are returned.
Our time now 7:23 as the government shutdown continues. Republican senators are trying different ways to try to break the stalemate. Senate Majority Leader John Thune says he'll call a vote today on an individual spending bill to fund only the Pentagon instead of the full government. Members of the U.S. military and the Coast Guard are about to miss their first paychecks. But active duty troops saw no disruption after the president reallocated some of the funding. And there's pushback to the Trump administration's efforts to enforce mass layoffs during government shutdown. A federal judge temporarily blocked the Trump administration from slashing the federal workforce during the shutdown.
It's cuts across many different departments that they're targeting. One of them is the Department of Disability and Special Education. How can you cut that?
They're going to be terminated on a permanent basis, and it's thousands of people, and it's billions of dollars. We're getting rid of a lot of things that we never wanted.
Now, the Trump administration is expected to challenge that court ruling. The director of the White House Office of Management and Budget said the Trump administration expects to lay off more than 10,000 federal workers during the shutdown.
One East Bay congressman calls the continuing shutdown a national emergency for many working families. Congressman Eric Swalwell called on House Speaker Mike Johnson to reopen the federal government. At an event in Castro Valley, he detailed how Bay Area workers are suffering. One furloughed worker with the Treasury Department in San Francisco said there has been almost no communication from the government during the furlough and said U.S. taxpayers are the ones paying the price.
Today is October 15th. It's the day that the extensions for personal income taxes were due. There's no one in our walk-in offices to answer questions.
Well, it's day 15.
Congressman Swalwell said the Republican leadership wants to keep the government shut down, in part to avoid swearing in Arizona's newly elected Democratic Congresswoman.
Well, dozens